we are here, man. LA Sparks Weekly. The Sparks just suffered a defeat, huge defeat to the Connecticut Sun, 90-76. Very unfortunate loss, very unfortunate situation, very unfortunate season for the Los Angeles Sparks. Michael Matthew here. Of course, Fredo is with me. Crazy, right, Fredo?
It is just kind of it's not okay with the way that season has gone for the Sparks. And, when Coach talked about it, I feel for him. I feel that, they need the league to change the rules and how many players, active players they can have, having Katie Siegel on the roster, counting her as a roster spot where she hasn't even touched the floor at all year long, and even Nia Clouden as well. She's only played one game as a Spark. She's been out throughout the whole season. It's just those little things that got to get fixed in order for a team like this to have room to bring other players in, especially like girls that they brought in over the last few weeks. They've had a lot of 10-day hardship contracts. So they have not been able to get that done. But right now, just looking at the way the season's ending right now, we've covered all year long. And the way it's going right now, it's pretty tough right now.
And it's very unfortunate just because as you watch them play in these games, and you see the different players stepping up and doing different things, you like, hey, if this team could have been 100% healthy, this could have been a team that could have easily been a top 4 team in the playoffs, a team that you would have been like, you wouldn't have been surprised if they made a finals run with a healthy NECA, with a healthy Lexi Brown, with, a healthy, say even a Katie Lou. But even if you take away Katie Lou, you see, players like Azare stepping up, Jordan, who may be on her way to a most improved player, Lasia Clarendon, when she plays, the team is about 57 to 60% in the winning column. And then you see somebody like Ray who getting minutes, who were able to chip in 13, matching her career high from the last game, getting minutes. Like if they were able to put everything together, this could have been a team that possibly made a true championship run. But, we can't control what happens. 16-22 now, with, hoping that Chicago loses a game or two and, hoping that they can win out. Like, that's the only way they can control their destiny. If they win out and Chicago having to lose a game, but it's just a tough one tonight.
Definitely a tough one. It's just, the offense today just seemed to look pretty good out there, even though the ball was moving. Ray played 33 minutes, which I don't know when was the last time she played more than 15 minutes out there.
College.
And Clarendon, Stevens, of course, Azure, the way she's been playing over the last month or so has just been so consistent. I think the problem overall has been consistency because there's been some inconsistency basketball from Dearica Hamby. Even though the last 2 games, shout out to DJ Trees for calling it out. They activated beast mode on her, and she had another terrific game today. Scoring 18 points, 7 rebounds, no assists today. But the defense was a problem tonight. You are facing the top 3 team in the league, and not Washington, Connecticut. But one thing I asked Coach earlier today, we talked about how many points they gave. They gave up half of their points. 46 out of 90 points in the paint. So that means, and normally their problem is there's a lot of back cuts, a lot of back cuts, and there are always some misunderstanding. NECA has a lot to do with that. NECA not being inside there, she's always the leader, she's always the voice down there, and I've gotten a chance to see it every day when I'm down on the court and listening to them yelling at each other. And NECA's always the communicator down there, and without her voice down there, you can see why the defense was a little off. And the other thing I mentioned as well was talking about the last time that this team gave up 90 plus points was back on July 26th in Dallas. So it's been over a month since this team has, they've been playing pretty good defense, of course, ever since the return of Lasia Clarendon. That really helped out a lot. But right now, over the last few games, man, it's been tough. It's been very tough.
Really tough for the team. And, they got 2 games left to try to figure it out. So hopefully they do. But, we're going to give you guys a little break here as we take a commercial break here with LA Sparks Weekly, so we can come back and talk about more of this game with the post-game show.
What's up, y'all? This is Lexi Brown with the LA Sparks, and you're watching Infanity TV.
Purple Profanity Nation. A podcast for the fans, by the fans. Dive deep into the topics the other shows miss. Raw and uncensored.
And he's going to play team ball. His legacy is at stake.
Rare, hard-hitting interviews with players, coaches, and you, the super fans.
I'm not hating. I'm like, okay, cool. Good.
3 championships in 5 years. He's more than good, bro.
Profanity Nation. Listen live or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Powered by...
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Chanel Gwimike, and you're watching Infanity Television. Boom.
So we are back. LA Sparks weekly post-game show. I am here, Michael Matthew, with my guy, Fredo Cervantes. You know, we're talking about this tough loss the Sparks just suffered. It could be a loss that maybe puts an end to their playoff hopes. But, you know, they fought with everything that they're dealing with. They found a way to make it as tough as possible, but it wasn't enough. So we're going to send you over to Coach, and Coach is going to talk to us about tonight's game.
You want to say anything first? Or?
Yeah, just, super proud of our group tonight. Came out after a halftime deficit and outscored them in the second half for the first 19 minutes of the second half. Again, had a couple possessions even late in the fourth quarter that could have got it to a 2-possession game. And so they just never quit and fought like crazy. That is a starting 5 that has earned their right into the 3 seed in this league. And we went toe to toe with those starters. In fact, our starters outscored their starters. So just, really appreciative of our effort and handling all the adversity.
Very nice to see you again.
Good to see you.
I just have a few questions for you about Alyssa. Her name's been firmly in the candidate pool for MVP. Just, you know her very well, and then just on the outside looking in this year, kind of, what do you think is her case for MVP?
The fact that she impacts the game in a variety of ways. I mean, for the last few years, we called Alyssa the best facilitating forward in the league. I think you got to get rid of the forward word. She's just, the elite facilitator in the league. She's essentially plays the point guard on this team. Everything goes through her. Her usage rate, I would bet, is the highest in the league. So she just impacts the game in so many ways. And has clearly become one of the great facilitators that our league has. And I think you just get rid of the point forward conversation. You get rid of the facilitating forward. She's just a facilitator, and just, terrific that way. Makes everyone better around her.
Just following up on that, a lot of people talk about just scoring and how she kind of compares to some of the other higher scorers in the league. Do you think that kind of takes her out of contention? Like, why do you think she should be taken more seriously as a candidate, I guess?
I think she's taken seriously as a candidate, like, in my opinion.
Just one more for you. So she eclipsed 300 single season assists in this game. You've said for years that she's a great facilitator, and, she had the ball in her hands a lot last season. Now that you're kind of on the scouting side, is there anything different that you're seeing in kind of how she facilitates, or anything that she's been doing differently that you may haven't seen in the last couple of years?
So just the usage of the ball in her hands, is higher than it was, in some of the years we played still with traditional point guards alongside of her now. While they have small guards on the floor, she is essentially, plays in that point facilitating role. Thanks.
John Davis on Zoom.
Coach, if you could kind of take me
John.
inside. Yes, can you hear me?
Yep.
Thank you. Coach, can you take me inside the locker room? What are you saying to your team to remain encouraged with 2 games remaining in this season, with a likelihood that, you'll still be in this playoff picture for both of these last 2 games?
Yeah, I just, again, for the first 19 minutes of that second half, it outscored them in the second half and kept it, for a long period of time in single digits. In fact, had multiple possessions to get it to a 2-possession game. So, again, just super proud of that group. And, I just trying to emphasize how hard they're scratching and clawing. With 2 more starters scratched tonight, we're reaching unprecedented numbers in the league's history in how many games we've missed from players. So, just being able to handle that. Ray has a career high tonight, John, in a last minute start because there's a scratch to Carly. Again, with Carly out now, we truly only have 2 true post players. Carly, we could play as an emergency post. Now you're playing guards, guarding some of the best post players in the league in AT and DB. It's a tough ask, but just super proud of them.
Sabrina with The Athletic.
Hey, Coach, you brought up Ray. Obviously, I think pressed into her first start of the season, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm curious, what do you feel like she's been able to improve upon most since you started working with her when you guys brought her on that hardship contract?
Confidence, tempo. At times, Ray just works so hard that she can get sped up or she speeds herself up. Just, loved the tempo that she played with and the confidence tonight.
Infanity Studios.
Hey, Coach. Fredo Cervantes here with Infanity TV. I just want to talk to you a little bit about the defense tonight. The defense allowed 46 points in the paint for Connecticut tonight. And, this team has not allowed an opposing team to score 90-plus points since your outing in late July against Dallas. Just talk to me a little bit about what you saw in your defense today.
Yeah, difficulty again. Alyssa Thomas is really hard to guard. DeWanna's a hard post player to guard. Because she's, a natural wing that can play on the perimeter. So, they just pose all sorts of problems when you don't have your best post defender in NECA. You don't have any post rotation. You're asking Azare and De'Erica to play hard, but you're also asking them, we don't have any subs for you. We don't have any post subs for you. So we've got to also play smart. So they got the ball into the paint and did some good things, but again, with that said, single digit lead against a starting 5. That's the 3rd best team in this league against, again, 2 scratches late to starters. And then obviously we have other rotational players out. So again, I'm not too concerned with what happened tonight. I'm proud of how we competed.
Thank you. And last question to Ray.
Hey, Coach, what can you take away from De'Erica Hamby in her last 2 starts? She's been really good the last 2 games.
Yeah, aggressive. Didn't back down. Again, I don't think we were going to be bullied. I appreciated that they weren't bullied. She went back for 18 herself. Azare had 18 and 11, a nice double-double. So our post game, had a good night. Back at them. So just impressed. 5 starters in double figures, had to log a lot of minutes because of the numbers that we were down in. So again, commend that group of 8. The league has to look at something when 2 really talented teams have to play with 8 players each. It's just sad. We haven't played. That's our 38th game. We have yet to play a game with 11 players.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we're back, Fredo. Just listening to Coach, he's kind of like, other than the defensive aspect that you talked about earlier, where they gave up, so many points in the paint, where most of the times you look at your bigs, but that's a lot of that can be on guard play because you have to keep the ball in front of you,
right,
and making it tough like that. And you expect them to play better defense with a Jordan Canada, with Ray Burrell there, but man, they just got nothing from the bench, and it was tough. But what's your thoughts just on Coach? Because he kind of looked at it like, yes, we didn't play no defense, but it's unfortunate that we can't add enough players to our roster. I think this is going to set precedent. Like, look at the Sparks 2023. Because they dealt with so much that they didn't want to deal with, but it happened. So this is why I think we need to pay more players. But what's your thoughts on Coach's post-game talk?
Yeah, Coach, we've been through every game with the LA Sparks. We've seen what Coach is all about and his way he, takes over this team. And one thing that kind of caught my eyes yesterday was realizing that Kurt Miller, was just in the WNBA finals coaching last year.
Yep.
And he was just there, with this Connecticut team that just, they faced today. So for a coach that's been in a winning streak and winning seasons and now coming through with the LA Sparks in this season, trying to go through a rebuild, new coach, new general manager, new front office. And he took a risk to come out to Los Angeles and try to make something happen out of it. And, of course, the way the season started, it seemed like there was some hope and there was a lot of potential for this season. But the moment Lexi went out, Clarendon went out, and just, lots of up and downs and injuries left and right, which I'm curious to ask Coach after Thursday's game and just trying to figure out, like, how comfortable is he in this role? Like, sometimes when you're just used to winning, like even Zaya Cook in an instant. Zaya won 36-0 in college. 36-0 to now being 16-22. And talking about Zaya right now, now that we're 2 games left in the season, we've seen what Zaya is all about. We know what she's pretty much capable of. And right now, she still has a lot of learning to do.
Yep.
She averaged 4 points per game all year long. She averaged about 15 minutes per game, which is, typically what a rookie normally gets in the league right now, especially when you have veterans like Jordan Canna, Laisha Clarendon, and you have other girls, Lexi Brown, stuff like that. So you weren't going to get that much minutes, and especially the way Coach Kurt Miller treats his rookies throughout his time coaching in the league.
Yes.
He's always making it not an easy road for the rookies. And Zaya still has a lot of learning to do because there was moments all year long that we've covered every game.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of moments where it's just like Zaya's 1 for 9, 2 for 12. And that needs to be cleaned up right there. And, even though Coach is letting her make her mistakes out on the court, as she should be, the guard play had to be a lot better all year long and more consistent.
And just not just offensively, it was defensively, like Coach was talking about. Like, I know NECA isn't there, so you can't just expect NECA to fix everything. It comes to having that pride on the defensive end to say, hey, we have to get some stops. But you knew it was going to be tough, especially when you knew that NECA wasn't going to play. You knew that Carly wasn't going to play. NECA and Carly played not too long ago, and they played the Connecticut Sun, and they still suffered a defeat. So it was a tough loss, but we have more for you because we have 2 ladies who put up very solid games, 18 points, 7 rebounds for De'Erica, a career-high 13 points for Ray Burrell, and very interesting because, these 2 are doing some good things. So let's see what they have to say.
This is a good side.
It's my good side.
No, dear. I sat with her. This is how we're doing it. This is how we're doing this.
I'll be Wizard Kelly.
All right, John Davis, let's start with you.
Wizard Kelly.
You got to bend down a little bit, De'Erica, if you want your face
Wizard
to be
Kelly.
shown.
No, it's okay.
There you go. All right. So kind of talk to me about this game. How do you approach a game like this when you're down 8 players and then down to 8 players? And then what are you saying to each other, with 2 more games left in this regular season?
We've kind of dealt with this adversity the entire season. I think a lot of teams have. but especially us. Next man up, we still were very competitive with them. Some of our bench players stepped up. Ray stepped up, had a career high. And just next game, like we're still fighting for that playoff spot, and we still have an opportunity. Some things fall our way, but next game up.
And Ray, what about that another career high for you? This time 13 points, getting the start. How did you feel, playing so many minutes against a quality Connecticut team?
I kind of anticipated playing a little bit more just because, we're down so many players. Like Derek has said, just next man up. I just knew I had to be ready, and my teammate put me in great positions to finish. So shout out to my teammates, and I just had to stay ready. I felt like when my name was called, I was ready.
Thank you.
Sabrina with The Athletic.
Or not.
Sabrina? Okay, let's go with Ray.
Ray? Not me.
Ray?
Yeah, me.
Yeah, the other Ray.
Yes. So you've been able to keep up with the other top teams in the league, but Connecticut seems to have your number. What's up with that?
I mean, they're a good team. I mean, every team in this league can compete with everybody, but I mean, they're trending up. They're playing well. They have a couple All-Stars on their team. Melissa Thomas is candidate to be MVP. They're doing what they're supposed to do, honestly. But that doesn't mean that like we're backing down or anything. It is what it is.
Thank you.
Infanity Studios.
Hey girls, Fredo Cervantes here with Infanity TV. This is a question for both of you too. The offense looked pretty good today. Everyone scored in double digits today, and Ray, this is your first start of the year, and De'Erica, you've just been on fire over the last 2 games right now. How comfortable are you guys feeling moving forward, facing the Liberty and possibly Seattle on Sunday, and trying to save your hopes for the playoffs?
I wouldn't say we're comfortable. We need Nika back. And we're obviously able still to compete, but being down our all-star, our leader, it definitely hurt us. But we can control in the meantime, and the 5 players or the 8 players that get on the floor throughout these next couple games or whatever the number may be, is going to compete. And as you see, we competed tonight, even though we didn't win, and the score doesn't show that, but we still competed with a very, very talented team.
We are back. Very interesting.
Yes.
From these
never
two,
seen that before.
Yeah, never seen that one before. But the 2 ladies, man, you had De'Erica sitting in Ray's lap. They're like, hey, we're going to do this somehow, some way. And I'm hoping that they do that, when it comes to this playoff spot, that they can somehow do it some way, somehow figure this thing out so that they can get some postseason play in. But what's your thoughts on Ray and De'Erica?
I mean, yeah, I did get a chance to, I asked him right now. I was like, well, look, you got 2 games left. Like, the offense looked pretty good today, even though they were able to move the ball around. Yep. It seemed like, missing a Carly, missing a NECA, the ball just kept moving around. And that was one of the things that, as well as Azure talked about it on the postgame show 2 games ago, where she was like, look, the ball is getting stuck to people's hands. That's the reason why. She mentioned that that's the problem on the 2 losses they had at Crypto last week. She's like, Tuesday, Thursday's loss, she's like, the ball was just getting stuck on people's hands. She's like, if we don't see nothing, you move it. And with NECA and, and Carly being out, I'm not saying that they were the problem, but it seemed like the ball was moving a little more, but the defense was the issue. Yeah. The defense was the problem tonight. De'Erica, the consistency. Consistency is what will win games, and no matter in which sport, no matter what part of life that you're doing, consistency will always be the key part of it. And she seemed to turn on beast mode now, so she's
these past few games
they flipped up the switch, and hopefully she can turn it up a notch on Thursday in New York and hopefully in Seattle, because they don't just need one. They need both wins.
Yeah, if they can win both of them, it'll put them in a great spot, because, as we know, looking at the schedule, Chicago matches up with the Lynx Friday, and they all finish their season Sunday where they play at Connecticut. They play at the Sun. So the big one's going to be Thursday. Hell, the big one was Sunday as well, where they were able to win when we just got this late news that Nneka wasn't going to play.
Yeah.
And we all kind of figured that coming into this one tonight, unless Connecticut Sept players, their stars, are decided to just not show up, that it was going to be a long night. And that's exactly what it was. But it's good to see the ladies are still, with some energy, with smiles on their face, because I was here last season at this time, and it was very depressing around the team because of everything that they were dealing with, the Liz situation,
Derek Fisher
getting fired. So it's just, it's kind of interesting to see them this happy. So I'm hoping that they can somehow get in, because if you can get a healthy Nneka, you can get Carly to play. It looks like Ray has found some confidence that, they can give a little fight. They already beat Vegas, and that most likely will be the team that either them or Chicago will have to match up with. But, man, just tough loss, 90-76, the Sparks at the Connecticut Sun. But we got to give a player of the game.
Yes.
It was a defeat, but who you got as your player of the game?
I mean, my player of the game, even though the way the game went, I'm going to go with Azrae Stevens.
Okay.
Just because she does a lot of the little things that really doesn't get much credit for.
Yeah.
And especially the way she's been shooting the ball. Earlier today, I was looking, she was doing a lot of pick and pops, whether it's from 10 feet or from 25 feet. She's doing it, being consistent. She's always hustling. That's what I do like about her. Her effort is always there.
Yep.
And with a lot of players, you make a difference when you stand out and you make those effort plays out there. And she definitely was being able to do that. And without Nneka, it always seems like Azrae, she doesn't play the same with Nneka not being out on the court. Because, sometimes you can always say, well, whenever this player's out here with me, I'm always feeling better because she takes more attention away from her. And with not having Nneka out there, made it a little tougher. But she was still able to put up 18 points out there today, which was very efficient for her. But
11 rebounds.
Yeah. So she's definitely been battling for the last month. Her game has just stepped it up, has really stepped up.
Yeah, for me, I'm going to go. I was going to go with Azrae, but you expect her to step up with Nneka out. I'm going to go back to Sugar Ray, man.
Oh.
I think that Ray Burrell, she played her career high minutes.
Yes, shout
got
out.
Her career high points, that she's showing that she is a very productive player. And we don't know how these last two games are going to end and what's going to happen next year, but she is a WNBA player. She should be on somebody's roster. She's long. She has the length. She can shoot the ball. She can put the ball on the ground, run the floor, defend. She just needs that confidence within herself, confidence from the coach that she's going to be able to get an opportunity and play. And I think that she can be a player. So Sugar Ray Burrell is my player of the game. And, here's to hoping that she can finish strong, because the Sparks still have a chance, everybody out there.
They do.
Sparks
Don't give
fans,
up.
The ladies has a chance to still get in the playoffs, and it starts Thursday night. If they can get the upset victory over the New York Liberty, it would be huge to go into that final night with a possible win to get in game versus the Seattle Storm. But any final words before we get out of here?
Yeah, I mean, New York Liberty, please sit your players. The Sparks really need to get this game, because if they don't pull out, which is going to be very hard right now, saying, if the lineups are the same, even though they competed with New York when they were here in LA, but being in Brooklyn, it's going to be a whole different thing. But if they let this game get away, I think the season's over.
The Sparks have to win, because if they end up with the same record as Chicago has a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
So the Sparks have to win, especially if the Chicago is going to win at least one game. So these are two must-win games that we're going to be excited to see and excited to talk about. So we thank you guys so much for tuning in to your favorite post-game show, LA Sparks Weekly, with yours truly, Michael Matthew, Fredo Cervantes. We will see you Thursday. And we got to say it. Go Sparks!
Woo!